せはここで出るから。
What is going on, fellow YouTubers? Shadow Gamer AX with another video for you guys today. And today in the Anime Lounge we'll be talking about Vivid Strike. Now before we get started, I want to thank you guys for 106. You guys are awesome, very amazing, and we'll get started right here. And so the plot summary for this anime goes like this. Raised up in the same orphanage, Fuka and Rine were once close friends but parted company after a quarrel ended up with Rine. Overwhelmed Fuka with her martial arts skills. Fuka has a life in poverty after leaving the orphanage. I think, in my own words, is compelled to help her after she found out what's going on with Rine. So she's basically like struggling for rent. She's basically very poor. She's doing what she can to get by, and I think that's a good development in Fuka's character. Now, you know, by the word poverty meaning not good fortune, meaning like she's very poor. Just want to make sure that you guys understand that. And you know, some people don't know the meaning of that, some people do. I do, but it's, you know, it's a word that's not much used in today's society. One of the big parts of this series that huge impressions that I got out of this series was that clip on Facebook that I will mention later, where it says like when you bowl with the wrong person. I think we'll mention that a little bit later in the video. I really the other main points, like it builds up to those two main characters, and to where they meet again a couple years later, maybe 3 years down the road, 4 years. Now in Rine's case, into more detail, Rine was adopted, as I just said in Hypnosis, where she went to a public school and got bullied. I guess it was so bad that she realized that her weakness was holding her back, and was convinced that the world was her enemy. And that's where this clip comes into play. Some people kind of hated on it, and that's why they passed on it. But that's a key, vital point to understand Rine's point of view, and it understands both characters in general. It just, I think, you know, you got to give it a shot. You got to understand what the plot is, or the story in general. So that when Fuka meets her again, she notices something completely different about her, and I think she gets the impression that she changed a hell of a lot. Fuka cares really deeply about Rine. She wants to prove to her that her ideals are one day going to lead down a wrong path. And you know, I think for a friend that's caring so much about them, about her, is just another key point that I wanted to point out. Sometimes when a friend is just so gone, and they just think the world is their enemy, like sometimes they lose sight of what bonds they forged, and they're so heavily focused on, which in Rine's case is more focused on that one goal, proving to everybody else that she is not weak, which she isn't. She also loses focus and loses sight of the people that she bonded with, mainly her manager, from the sport. Yes, by the way, it's a sports anime. That forgot to mention that, but she bonded with her teammates, her what do you call it? Her friends, her close friends, her family. It's another key point. These key points are vital, and a lot of people are giving this show shit, I guess, a while back because of that scene. Well, if you don't watch the series, I can't really tell you, but you gotta watch the series to understand both characters' point of view. Fuka has this desire to help her because I guess she forged some kind of bond with Rene, and she grew up with her. Childhood friends, in my opinion, childhood friends sometimes can be a curse, or can be people that you really love as a family member. And I mean, it all really depends on how you look at it. But I really had fun with this show. The main points were very, very positive to me, and it depends on the content, the message. That I always believe, like, the message has a very, very strong impact on a series. It doesn't matter if it's a manga you're reading or it's an anime you're watching. The messages behind the plots and the storylines and the shows and the episodes and the pages, I always believe, I have this gut feeling that there's something that the producer or the author wants you to understand, like a hidden message. And I always believe that, as Conan's quips, as a keen eye for detail, one truth prevails, that's an iconic thing. That's I believe that everything has a great purpose and a message that the viewer or the reader must find or locate or understand the series before you judge it. I mean, any normal person would look at a show, oh, well, that's satanic, oh, that's bad watching for you. Yeah, did you watch episode 1 through 12? Did you watch the OVA? I understand that, guys. You have your own opinions. I got mine. It's totally fine. But I really enjoyed, on a scale to 1 to 10, it really made me feel for these characters, which is very, very difficult for any show to pull off. Some shows don't pull it off as well as they used to. And Vivid Strike actually did a very fantastic job of looking after these characters and developing them on what points, and the better understanding of where they need to be. The characters were very, very understandable. With the main show these days, it's very, very difficult to make the audience feel anything. Like, emotion is very much key. That's just my opinion. And it's one of the best shows that I've seen that I wished. But sadly, guys, it is not English dub. So if you were expecting a English dub version, don't waste your breath, because it's been out for a long, long time. And I guess it won't be released in English dub, but I urge you guys to watch this show, even if it is sub. I'm strongly getting into English subtitles if there's not really much of an English version. There are some shows that I think you can't really accomplish with English actors. And this show, I actually think, I wish it wouldn't be an English dub version, because that would just ruin the Japanese dub. It was done so well, and I gotta give it a 9 out of 10, I think. Vivid Strike is a wonderful, wonderful slice of life show, and I would recommend this to anyone with a soft spot for slice of life. In general, I really enjoyed this show to a great deal, and I hope you guys would check it out for yourselves. The key points that I loved, absolutely loved, was the ending, the plot. So everything about the show was spot on. And what made it great was the interpretations of these characters, and their voice acting was to perfection. It made me feel a lot, and I'd highly recommend it to anybody who has a soft spot or a sweet tooth for a good slice of life. This is the one. I also thought that it gave you a better understanding of what the show was, the key plot points, the story. It gave you a lot of understanding. You basically understood how these characters ended up the way they did. And that's why I love this series to a great deal. That about wraps things up for me, guys. If you guys want to see more of the Anime Lounge, please be sure to hit that like button and comment down below if you've seen Vivid Strike. What were your thoughts on this show, and how would you rate it? As always, guys, I'm ShadowGamerAX. The link for the more info about this show will be in the description down below. Until next time, guys, adios muchachos.